Thank you for doing this. Good morning, everybody. This is Gavin Higashi, and today, this is my Positive Insight interview number 13. So today I've got Carissa Davis, who I'm very excited to hear from. Again, my goal with these is to breathe positivity into our industry as well as into Facebook, just by interviewing the people that are in my community that I respect and think bring positivity to me as well as the people around me. So today I got Carissa, so I'm really excited. So Carissa, give us some background on you and tell us about all the cool stuff that makes you.
Hey, that wasn't part of the question.
Oh, this is just, you just say who you are, your family, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
so my name's Carissa Davis. I'm with Keller Williams out of the downtown office, but live, work, eat, breathe Brighton, just because my family is here. My husband is a pastor at a church a couple blocks away, and four of my 5 kids are at Foundations Academy up the road here, and then my daughter will go there next year.
Yeah.
So between my family, my church, and my realty business, that's about it.
Very cool. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. So the way it works, I'm just going to ask you these questions, and we'll just kind of roll through it and go from there. So what are your whys? What gets you up every day? What gets you going?
You know, I actually had a sort of come to Jesus meeting with my coach over this just recently. And honestly, my why is just people in general. I love and just thrive off of people. And so, you know, whether it's my husband and my kids, or it's my team members, or it's my clients, I love getting up and doing my job and serving the people that I have in front of me that day.
It's very cool. So your why is everybody else, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's what gets me going.
Yeah, it's very cool. Mm-hmm. I think that it's unique and extremely important to if you're living for everyone else around you. And I mean, I'm just speaking from an outsider looking in. I mean, you live that life. I mean, I see that. You definitely live.
Don't paint it at all.
No, I'm not.
I'm very selfish most of the time.
That is not true.
But as far as just what drives me, I love other people. So yeah,
and you can tell. So what challenges do you remember overcoming that you really learned and grew from?
I always say that the hardest year I think of my life was the year that our 2 boys came home from Uganda. Mm-hmm. We went from 3 kids to 5 kids, bringing in like 2 little boys who didn't speak English, and it was crazy. It was just crazy for a year, good solid year, and so there were just a lot of just life challenges that come with that, and so just stretching my patience and my endurance, and I really believe that God doesn't give us more than we can handle, and so there were definitely days that I was pretty sure that was not a true statement, right. Because it was so much, but we got through it, and every day gets better and better, and yeah.
How many years have you had the boys with you?
They've been home 2.5.
2.5.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I know the process of adopting in the United States is pretty intense, but to deal with overseas and all the different laws and everything else that goes into it, I can't even imagine how trying and challenging that is.
Yeah, it was definitely something everyone should experience.
Yeah. That's
my husband was there by himself for a couple weeks before I came back the second time, and then we were in country for a couple weeks before we left our biological kids home, and so it was fun. Just starting from we got the call to go over there, it was just a crazy year.
But you're willing to do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're willing to do that for other people. I mean, that's such a positive insight. I mean, truthfully, for me, that's just going after it regardless of what's going to come your way, because you're not going to know all the details. You're not going to know everything that's going to happen. You just jump in and you figure it out, right? So that's pretty impressive. So thank you for sharing that. So what are you reading? What are you listening to? Who do you follow? That kind of stuff.
Well,
You're doing awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
You're doing awesome.
I really recognize the concept of what I call just renewing your mind. I feel like with a very busy life, I'm constantly just having to remove clutter from my mind and really like focus on what I should focus on.
Sure.
And so I always start out my morning, I try to always start out my morning reading my Bible, because that's part of my just mind renewal and focus. I told you on audiobook, I'm learning French with Paul Noble. It's a great book. You should totally listen to it. It's great. And then reading a book called Start by John Acuff, Acuff. That's been really good, just about not being average and just starting it. So
I love that.
I'm making my 10-year-old read it, parts of it. And then just another book on being a pastor's wife. So our ADD issues, remember that? I kind of like have to cycle through.
You got lots going on, and
little bits at a time.
I will tell you, so you kind of nonchalantly said, I'm learning French. Like that's pretty awesome. I have a couple other clients that are, one's learning Spanish, and it's just constantly challenging and learning, right? Like we have such an opportunity to do more, and it's cool to see people actually take advantage of that. And going back to your other book, Start, I've not read that book, but I'm assuming it's the same challenge that all of us have, is it's just jumping in and getting stuff done and just doing it. And my son and I were playing baseball yesterday, and he asked me, he's like, Dad, let's go play baseball. And I'm like, I don't really want to. And then once I just did it, then I'm there, and it was awesome, right?
Yeah.
Not the exact same example, but it's just start, just go do it. So, really cool. Thank you for sharing that too. So mantras, quotes, sayings, anything you live by every day that kind of just feeds your mind?
Yes, I will put on my Keller Williams door cat.
Okay.
One of my friends just went and visited Gary Keller's office, and on his desk was the quote, I'm not going to quote it correctly, but basically, getting done, my number one priority, everything else is a distraction.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yes, I've got to live by that in a time where there's so much to do. Really prioritizing, first of all, taking the time to prioritize, and then removing everything else is what I try to do.
That's so good.
So that one, and then just a Bible verse that recently has, again, just kind of, I keep reading it, is just not being conformed to this age, but being transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you can know what is the good, perfect, and pleasing will of God. And again, I think it just comes back to taking the time to just renew your mind and focus and bring you back, and then you will ultimately know what you're supposed to do.
So as ADD as you and I both are, and how much we always are just going in different directions, I've always found that to be such a blessing, because I just know how much it's valued in my life by being able to kind of go into and try pretty much everything and just constantly learn. And that's awesome. And then the Gary Keller thing, his book, The One Thing, phenomenal. I read it. I always steal from that book his concept of counterbalancing. So he talks about, everyone's trying to find balance. Yeah. But he talks about counterbalancing, how it's hard to balance. Like you give everything to this one thing, but then you got to go back to this other one thing. So I love the focus of that. So and we need
balance
that focus.
Balance is so overrated.
Yeah.
So balance, it's boring.
It's boring. We need that. But we need that reminder of focus, because we can get so pulled in so many directions. You're right. If you're on the one thing at that moment, you're more effective. Yeah. Well, I so appreciate your time. Again, I truly appreciate who you are and what you do for Brighton, as well as what you do for me and what you do for our community. So thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Cool. It wasn't too bad, right?
No,
yeah, very cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. All right. Thanks.